Betrayal doesn't announce itself with alarms. It arrives quietly, cloaked in familiarity, nodding along to your plans, blending into your circle. Then, when your defenses are down, it moves. Machiavelli, the master of power's undercurrents, didn't just observe betrayal. He analyzed its mechanics, tracing how it weaves through relationships and ambitions like a silent toxin. His insight? Betrayal doesn't thrive because people are weak. It succeeds when they miss the subtle cues, the shifts in loyalty that only a sharp mind can catch. Machiavelli taught that the greatest error is trusting too readily, or dismissing warning signs for the sake of comfort. Betrayal rarely comes from strangers. It festers among those closest to you. This is why this guide exists. To arm you with Machiavelli's practical strategies from the Prince and Discourses on Livy, not vague theories, but real patterns of disloyalty seen in politics, partnerships, and personal ties. Here are 3 key behaviors that reveal someone's true intentions, even when they swear allegiance. Hidden compliance. Machiavelli described a behavior we'll call hidden compliance. In The Prince, he noted how those under your influence, whether newly joined or long-standing, may show obedience not out of loyalty, but as a temporary mask while they rebuild their strength. He wrote, "Injuries must be inflicted all at once, for a partial wound allows time for vengeance." Silence isn't devotion. Agreement isn't alignment. When someone who once offered bold ideas now only nods in agreement, or when a once vocal ally grows quiet, beware. They're not loyal, they're calculating. Machiavelli pointed to Cesare Borgia, who, after conquering Romagna, used a harsh deputy to enforce order, then publicly eliminated him to win the people's trust. The lesson: those who comply too easily may be biding their time. In your life, this is the coworker who agrees in every meeting but never initiates, the friend who stops debating you, or the partner who suddenly withholds opinions. These aren't signs of harmony. They're signs of strategy, a positioning for later moves, too. Excessive talk, empty meaning. Machiavelli stressed that true allies speak directly, even at personal risk. But those plotting betrayal often hide behind a flood of words, praise, reassurances, constant check-ins that lack substance. In Discourses, he explained how conspirators build trust not through silence, but by over-communicating, using flattery and vague alignment to stay close. Men break obligations when it serves their interests, he wrote, noting that loyalty fades when self-interest shifts. A betrayer's chatter isn't support, it's surveillance. They stay near to study your weaknesses, not to strengthen you. Watch for the colleague who echoes your ideas but never commits to action, the friend who texts endlessly but avoids deep accountability, or the team member who flatters but keeps their stance unclear. Proximity isn't protection, it's a potential threat. Machiavelli advised keeping power distributed, ensuring no one ally grows too close or indispensable, because familiarity breeds opportunity for betrayal. Diverging paths. The third sign is subtle but deadly. Diverging paths. Machiavelli observed that betrayal often stems not from malice but from misaligned goals. In Discourses, he described how alliances fracture when shared purposes drift apart. When someone's ambitions grow in a direction that no longer aligns with yours, loyalty erodes. This isn't always obvious. It hides behind smiles and routine interactions. But when someone's growth, new networks, new priorities, feels disconnected from your shared vision, take note. It's not their success that's the issue. It's the secrecy or vagueness of their new direction. In modern terms, this is the business partner who builds side projects without mentioning them, the friend whose sudden ambition feels exclusive, or the colleague whose language shifts from we to I. Machiavelli would say this drift is where betrayal begins, not in a single act, but in a slow, unspoken realignment. How to act. Machiavelli didn't advocate paranoia, but precision. He urged leaders to spot these patterns early and act decisively, not emotionally. For hidden compliance, test loyalty with disruption, shift plans or assign new responsibilities, and watch the reaction. Genuine allies adapt or challenge. Pretenders hesitate. For excessive talk, demand concrete action. Give them a task that requires real commitment and see if they deliver or deflect. For diverging paths, refocus on the shared goal and ask directly, "Are we still aligned?" Their response, especially their energy, reveals the truth. Hesitation is a crack. Ignored cracks become breaks. The hardest truth? Most people see these signs but do nothing, hoping loyalty will hold. Machiavelli rejected this. Men must be won or eliminated, he wrote, not out of cruelty, but clarity. If someone shows these signs, don't confront emotionally. That gives them power. Instead, quietly reduce their influence. Limit their access, redistribute their responsibilities, and make their position irrelevant. This isn't about punishment. It's about prevention. Build a structure where betrayal is a losing move. Create incentives where loyalty benefits them more than defection. If they still betray, let them. They'll find themselves striking at nothing, because you've already removed their leverage. Machiavelli's genius was in seeing power as a system, not a sentiment. Loyalty isn't about affection. It's about cost. Those who pay no price for standing with you haven't proven their allegiance. Test them with small challenges. Observe their history, and never assume time equals trust. The betrayer is often the one who's watched you longest, who knows your flaws and waits for the moment your guard slips. By recognizing these signs, hidden compliance, empty talk, diverging paths, and acting with calculated precision, you don't just survive betrayal, you make it irrelevant.